go.
Some travelers journeying along the seashore climbed to the summit of a tall cliff and looked over the sea, saw in the distance what they thought was a large ship. They waited in hope of seeing it enter the harbor, but as the object on which they looked was driven near the shore by the wind, they found that it could be the most be a small boat and not a ship. When, however, it reached the beach, they discovered that it was only a large faggot of sticks, and one of them said to his companions, "We have waited for no purpose, for after all there is nothing to see but a load of wood." Or mere anticipations of life outrun its realities.
This is Folk Tales for Grown Folks. I'm Brother Hatim. I'm being joined by one of my young men named Ron. He decided he would help me out, and he wanted to read the story for me. So, you want to give Ron some shots out. But, of course, this is Folk Tales for Grown Folks. You have joined us on Giami Journey. We are reading one of Aesop fables, and we're using the translation by George Fowler Townsend, and the name of the story is The Seaside Travelers. But before we get into the breakdown, let me go on and share this with you. You are now listening to Giami Journey Radio. This is a Heart of a Symbol production. Where we strive to blow up your old paradigms. Keep up with the journey. Check out what we have done in the past. Go to journeyarchives.com. Man, what an appropriate story we stumbled on. It's funny how the universe works, because being somebody that's really into, I'm starting to claim what I am. I'm a storyteller. I break down stories. I look at the how to use them in life, and I try to teach lessons. So one of the things that caught me about this story is, one, the importance of the message, but two, the timeliness. Because those of you that are listening to it, that's listening to it in a proper time frame, let me paint the picture of what's going on in America right now. Right now in Baltimore, they are rioting. They are tearing things up. And I'm going to tie this a little bit into what's going on in Baltimore, and for some of the things we need to watch out for. Okay, so now I'm gonna read it again so that you can get it, because he got kind of a light voice. I'm working with my young man. I'm gonna get their leadership voice up, and we're gonna become more powerful. And eventually, maybe one day, he could take over this show for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be able to pay him. But hey, who knows what may come in the future? Some travelers journeying along the seashore climbed to the summit of a tall cliff, and looking over the sea, saw in the distance what they thought was a large ship. They waited in hopes of seeing it enter the harbor, but as the object on which they looked was driven near to shore by the wind, they found that it could at most be a small boat and not a ship. When, however, it reached the beach, they discovered that it was only a large faggot of sticks. And one of them said to his companion, "We have waited for no purpose, for after all there is nothing to see but a load of wood." And the lesson in the story, or the moral of the story, are mere anticipations of life outrun its reality. Now, a lot of us, we spend our life like these people on the seashore, looking out upon the sea of life, waiting for our ship to come in. You know what I'm saying? We're waiting for our dreams to manifest. You know what I'm saying? And we're hoping, because these dudes were sitting on it, they didn't even have nothing out to see. They just wanted to see the ship come in. So they don't even have nothing coming if the ship come in. They might get a little bit of work by helping them unload the ship, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But these guys are just watching a ship come in. You know what I'm saying? They don't even have no vested interest in the ship coming in. And what they do, they spend their time. The only thing that we got to sell, the only thing that is really meaningful in life, they're wasting their time waiting for the ship to come in. And you don't, in the story, you don't hear a purpose for them waiting for the ship. And many of us are spending our life like that. We're watching other people's ships come in. We watch other people's ships come in for them. We see other people making their investments, and we watching their ship come in. But all right. But when it comes to us, you know what I'm saying? Because we have sent no ships out, we don't get no ships returning back to us. And that's problematic. And let me tell you why that's problematic. You know what I'm saying? Because as these individuals are sitting, watching, and waiting for the ship to come, right? They are wasting time. They're wasting their time. And for example, bringing it to Baltimore, there has been generations, maybe the last 3 generations, maybe 4, where we have been waiting for people to accept as black people our humanity. We've been waiting for that ship to come in. We watched it from a distance, and we thought it was coming in the 70s. You know, there was some major changes. We knew what it was in the 80s, and we like, this ship is coming. But as the 90s approached, we saw that the big ship that we was waiting for turned out to be couldn't be no more than a little boat, because we're watching and we're waiting, you know. So now, rather than me building up my community, I'm integrating my community now, and I'm reaching out and I'm going out. I'm not worried about returning back to my roots, back to my home. I'm moving out of the neighborhood because the ship is coming in. But in the 90s, I started saying this great ship that I thought was coming in is nothing but a small boat, possibly. Right? The 90s come in and leave, and we waiting for this boat to come in. You know what I'm saying? We doing everything that we were told to do by others. Right? Even though we ain't sent a ship out. We're still waiting for this ship to come in. So in the 2000s, we find that, oh my God, the ship we was waiting for that turned into a boat has turned into a bundle of sticks. Many of us, and in this frustration of waiting for this boat, many of us, when something happens, it explodes because there's a frustration that not only belongs to the generation that's out there doing it now, but it belongs to the generations that came before them, the generation that trusted. And now they are reaching out and tearing up. Because you know why? Because our mere anticipation of life outruns its realities. People sold us on expectations. Right? We got sold on expectations. Now, let's bring it back to the personal. Many of us have been sold on the expectation of life, right? We have not learned to deal with the reality. We have not learned to deal with the reality that before anything could come through, we got to put in our time. We got to put in our work. You know what I'm saying? We got to send a ship out to expect the ship to come back. We can't expect somebody else's ship. We can't wait for other people's ship to come in. We can't wait for European American ships to come in and think that we're gonna get something off. We can't wait for the Asian ships to come in. We can't wait for the gay ship to come in. We got to be we can't wait for other people's ships, because they building their ships and they're sending them out to sea and they're bringing back things to trade. As a community and as individuals, we got to start working on our ship. Where's our ship, black community? That we done sent out to do trade and to come back. No, we get happy when other people's ships come in. Now it's time for us to start building our own ships. You know what I'm saying? It's time for us to start dealing with reality and stop dealing in anticipation. You know what I'm saying? And in your personal life, you need to start building your own ships and stop waiting for anticipations and cheering for other people's anticipations and expecting something from them when they get what they're supposed to get. No, you got to get your own. You got to build your own. And I think this is what this story is trying to tell us, you know, because we often get frustrated when we are waiting for others to hand something out for us because we was patient, like these dudes on the beach. You know what I'm saying? What did they end up with? They ended up with a bundle of sticks that they couldn't even make a fire with. You know why? Because it was wet. You know, we have to start really thinking because our ancestors already left us the path. Our ancestors already left us the answers. All we got to do is be wise enough to read what they left us and start applying it to life. We got to start building. We got to start coming together because in order to build a ship, you need mathematicians, right? You need tradesmen. You need people to supply it with food. You know what I'm saying? You need all the aspects in order to build this ship. Let's call it a community because we don't necessarily have one. You need everything from a community to make sure that that ship is able to go out to sea and to return back to you whole, right? Now, I want to say that this is... You are now listening to Giami Journey Radio. This is a Heart of a Symbol production. Where we strive to blow up your old paradigms. Blow them up, blow them up, blow them up. And one of the paradigms we have to blow up is dealing with anticipation rather than working and preparing. Or we stop relying on anticipation and start relying on preparation. All right? We need to move towards that. We got to be more active in our future. You know what I'm saying? We got to be more active in reality. What is reality showing us? What is reality teaching us? And we need to start structuring our lives around that reality. Now we'll get into shaping and molding the reality. But first, what is reality telling us right now that we need, that you need to do? You know what I'm saying? And until we face that, and until you face that as an individual on this journey, you will always be fooled. You will always end up wasting your time. All right? And this is Brother Tim. I want to say thank you for your time. I want thank you for your patience. Thank you for checking out the shows. You know, like I said, it's been rough for me getting up lately, but that's a phase. We all go through phases. So I like to thank all those that come out, that check me out. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter. I'm on Google Plus. If you have any comments, please send into the show. I also challenge each and every individual out there that if you have a folk tale, if you have a favorite Aesop fable, and you have some wisdom to share from that story, I challenge you to send it to me. I will play it. I did it before. I don't mind doing it again. And I would really love to hear from you, all right? This is Brother Tim, and I'm out.